we reckon with your several loves, and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland did such an honour named. Much more to do which will be planting newly with the time as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled to the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who it's 'tis thought by seven violent hands took of her life. This, and what evil else calls upon us. By the grace of grace we will perform in measured time and place. So thanks to all at once and each to one, whom we invite to see us crowned at school. When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, grey monk.
Haddock calls.
And none.
Fair is foul.
And foul
is fair.
Hover through the fog.
And filthy air.
Fair is foul and foul is fair.
Hover through the fog.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broils thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke there are. The merciless Macdonald worthy to be a rebel, full too that the multiplied villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of Kerns and gallow glasses is supplied, and fortune on his damning quarrel smiling showed like a rebel fall. Oh, but all's too weak.
Hey, Macbeth!
Well, he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel which smoked with bloody execution. Like Balor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chest, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
But I am faint, my gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds, they smack of honour both. Go, get him surgeon! Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross. What a haste looks through his eyes, so should he look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and found our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. Till that, Bellona's bridegroom lapped up in proof, confronted with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness! No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth.
Speak done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched, and munched, and munched, give me, quoth I. write thee which the Brumfed Runyon cries. A husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger, but in a sieve in the sail. And like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other. And the very ports they blow, or the quarters that they've known a shipman's card. I will drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live a man forbid. Weary Shenites 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though its bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb. Rector's homeward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus to go about and about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make of 9. Peace, the charms wander. So foul and fair a day I have not seen. Speak, if you can. What are you? All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cornwall.
All hail Macbeth, thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start? I seem to fear things that do sound so fair. In the name of truth, are ye fantastical? Well, that's indeed which outwardly ye show. My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope that he sees you after all. Me you speak not. If you could look into the secret tongue, the same which great will grow and which will not speak then to me, neither beg nor fear your favours nor your hate. Hail.
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 Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth. All hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Senel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis. But our Cornwall, the Thane of Cornwall lives, a prosperous gentleman. And to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more to be Cornwall. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak! I charge you!
Were such things here as we do speak of? Or have we eaten on the insane route that takes the reason prisoner? Were such things here as we do speak of? Or have we taken the insane route that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too? Went it not so?
The self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal venture in a rebel's fight, his wonders and his praises do contend, which should be thine or his.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not to pay thee.
And, for an earnest of a greater pleasure, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy thing, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true? The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose.
Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and advantage, or that in both he laboured in his country's wreck, I know not.
but treason's capital confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glass. And the Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Do you not hope your children shall be kings? When those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them.
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange. And oftentimes to win us to our harms, the instruments of darkness tell us truths. Win us with honest trifles. To betray is in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray of you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural solicitude cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth infix my hair, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise. And nothing is but what is not. How our partners wrath. If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me, without my stir.
New honours come upon him like our strange cards. Cleave not their mould, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favour. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Letters towards the king. Think about what of chance, and at more time the interim have waited. Let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends!
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoke with one that saw him die.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. More is thy due more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are towards your throne, and state children, and servants, which do but what they should, in doing everything safe towards your love and honour.
I have begun to plant thee, and will labour to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee, and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
Servants, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honour must, not unaccompanied, invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
That is a step on which I must fall down, or else overleap. For in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
If your sweetheart sends a letter of goodbye,
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king who all hailed me
Thane of Cawdor.
by which title before, these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming of time with,
Hail, King that shall be.
"This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dews of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness has promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'st have great Glamis, that which cries thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, than wishes should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits into thine ear, and chastise with the valour of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it.
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming.
The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here. Fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access to passage and remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shape my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers! Wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pour thee in the dullest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blankets of the dark to cry, hold! Hold! Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book, where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower. But be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for. And you shall leave this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favour ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
And the air is delicate.
See our honoured hostess.
All our service in every point, twice done and then done double. We're poor and single business to content those honours deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants have theirs themselves and what is theirs in comp to make their audit at your highness's pleasure. Still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and will continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then it were well it were done quickly. If the assassination could tremble of the consequence, and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He is here in double trust, first as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless corries of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk or only dressed yourself? Have it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, that since I dare not tread upon I would, like the poor cat in the ant?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was then that broke this enterprise to me? When you do stir it, then you are a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more than man. No time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now doesn't make you. I have given suck, and know how tender it is to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail,
We fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him. His two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail, So convinced that memory, the border of the brain shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lies in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great crown?
Bring forth men, children only. For thy undaunted mental should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleeping two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers, that they have done it?
Who shall receive it other? As we shall make our griefs and clamour raw upon his death.
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the town with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
She goes down at 12.
I take it 'tis later, sir.
Hold.
There's husbandry in heaven. The candles are all out. Heavy summons lies like lead upon me, even if I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restraining me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose.
Who's that? A friend?
Sir, not yet at rest. The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your officers. All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. Do you there have shown some truth?
I think not of them. Yet when you can entreat an hour to serve, we shall spend it in some words upon that business. If you will grant the time,
Your kindest leisure.
if you shall cleave when it is, it shall make honour for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it. Still keep my bosom franchise and allegiance clear. I shall be counselled.
Good repose the while.
And sir, the like to you?
Go bid thy mistress. When my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Go be to bed.
Is this a dagger which I see before me?
The handle toward my hand. Come, let me crack thee.
I have thee not, and yet I see thee still.
Art thou not fatal vision, sensible?
To feeling as to sight, or art thou but
Dagger of the mind, a false creation.
Proceeding from the heat of pressed brain.
I see thee yet, in form as palpable.
As this, which now I draw.
Thou marshallest me the way that I was going.
And such an instrument I was to use.
mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses?
Or elsewhere, though the rest, I see thee still.
And on my blade indulge in gouts of blood, which was not so before.
There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs us to mine eyes. Thou shore and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones pray to my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat he lives, where's for the heat of deeds too cold breath gives? I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made mock their charge with a snore. I have drugged their posits that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I'm afraid they have awaited and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confound us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou hear a noise?
I heard the owl swoon and the cricket's cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
I.
Oh. Who lies in the second chamber?
Donovan.
This is a sorry sight.
Oh, it's short to say a sorry sight.
There's one that did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder. They woke each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
We got together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other. But they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fears, I could not pronounce amen when they did say God bless us.
Considering not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I have most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
You thought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth has murdered sleep.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glass hath murdered sleep, and therefore all the rest shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? My worthy fame, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why do you want the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that bids painted devil. Inwardly I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? Why is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No, no. This blood will rather the multitudinous seas and carnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your colour, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber, and little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Get on your night cap. It's occasion callers and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deeds were best not know myself. Wait, Duncan, with thy knocking! I would thou couldst!
Tomorrow night, will you remember what you did tonight? Tomorrow night,
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hell Gate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock! Who's there? In the name of Beelzebub. Faith is an equivocator that can sway both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake but could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator! Knock! Knock! Never acquired. What are you? This place is too cold for hell. I'll devil portrait no further. I have thought of letting all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. And on! And I pray you, remember the port.
Was it late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late? Is thy master stirring? Ah, knocking has awakened him. Here he comes. Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
You did command me to call on him timely. I've almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know it is a joyful trouble for you, but yet 'tis one.
The labour we delight in physics pains. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, but 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly where we lay. Our chimneys were burned down, and as they say, lamentings heard in the air. Strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events, new hatched to the awful time. The obscure bird clamoured in the livelong night. Some say the earth was fevers, and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! 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 Oh no, I cannot conceive nor name thee.
What is the matter?
Confusion hath made his masterpiece. A sacrilegious murderers broke over the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is she saying?
Me knew his majesty.
Approach the chamber and destroy thy sight with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell. Murder and treason! Banquo and Donabane! Malcolm, awake! I'll shake off this downy sleep death's counterfeit and look upon death itself! Up and see the great doom's image! Malcolm! Banquo! As from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror, ring the bell!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak. Speak.
Gentle lady, it's not for you to hear what I can speak, for the repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, our master's murdered.
Well, alas. What, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. I prithee, dear, doth contradict thyself and say it is not so?
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I would have lived a blessed time. For from this instant, there is nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it stopped.
Your royal father is murdered.
Oh, by whom? Those of his chamber seem to have done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me on my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the pause and reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gash stabs looked like a breach in nature for rune's wasteful entrance. There, the murderers steeped in the colours of their trade, their daggers unmanly breached with gore. Who could refrain in a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known?
Oh, help me hence, help!
I look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues? That most may claim this argument for ours.
What should be spoken here, where our fate, hid in an auger hole, may rush and seize us? Let's away, our tears are not yet proved.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look at the lady! And when we have our naked frailties here that suffer an exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence, against this, undivulged pretense, I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
And so all!
What will you do? Let's not console with them, to show an unfelt sorrow to an office which the false man does easy. Oh, to England.
To Ireland I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers and smiles. The nearer blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse. And let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
If your sweetheart sends a letter of goodbye,
Threescore and 10 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowings. 'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed. 'Tis said they eat each other.
How goes the world, sir, now?
Why see you not?
'Tis not known who did this mortal bloody deed.
Those that Macbeth is slain.
Alas the day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Found them at Donald by the king's two sons are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, thriftless ambition will ravin up thine own life's means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
It's already named, but not too soon to be invested.
Where's Duncan's body?
Carried to Cork. Sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to school?
No, prison. On to Fife.
Then I will thither.
There you see things well done there. Adieu. At least our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad, and friends of foes.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Glamis, all as the weird woman promised, yet I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from those upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why, by the verities upon thee made good, may there not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence. Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
Is it far you ride?
Oh, my lord, it will fill up the time twixt this and supper.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parasite, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow. Goes Flaons with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call at once.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell.
To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus, your fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temple of his mind, he hath the wisdom that doth guide his banner to act in safety. There is none but he whose being you do fear, and unto him your genius is rebuked. As it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. Each of the sisters, when we first put the name of king upon him, then bade them speak to him the prophet like we hailed him, father to a land of kings. Upon your heads we placed a fruitless crown, but a barren sceptre in your pride. Thence to be wrenched with an gun in your hand, no son of yours succeeding. But if it be so, for Banquo's issue have you followed your mind? For then the gracious Duncan hath you murdered. Put rancors in the vessel of your peace, only for them and your eternal joy, given to the common enemy of man. To make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings.
Rather than so, come fate into the list and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Was it not yesterday we spoke?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now, have you considered of my speeches?
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospel to pray for this good man, for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, and in the catalogue ye go for men.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary of disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it, or be rid of it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
And so he is mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life, and though I could, with barefaced power sweep him from my sight, and bid my will about you, yet I must not. That I, to your assistance, do make love, masking the business from the common eye, for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace upon that same fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved,
my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone those sorriest fancies your companions making? Using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scotched the snake, not killed it. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done its worst, nor steel nor poison. Malice domestic, foreign levy. Nothing can touch him further.
Come on, my lord. Gentle. Sleek over your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his fleance live. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come. Sealing night, scarp up and tender eye a pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand handsaw and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Night thickens, and the crow makes wing to the bookkeeper. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill, so prithee. Go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. And near approaches the subject at our watch.
Give us a light now, ho!
His horses go about.
A light, a light.
Stamp to it.
Will we rain tonight?
Let it come down.
Fly, you players, fly!
Don't strike out the light.
What's not the way?
There's but one down. Sun's split. We lost best half of our fare.
Then let's away and say how much is done.